94% of knowledge workers spend at least 2 hours every single day on repetitive digital tasks. Copying data between spreadsheets. Sending the same emails. Downloading files. Filling out forms. 94%. And here's the brutal truth, most of those people have no idea that a Python automation bot could eliminate almost all of it, permanently, for free. In the next 10 minutes, you're going to know exactly how to build your first real Python automation bot from scratch. Not a toy example. Not a hello world script. A genuine, working bot that you can point at a real problem today. Specifically, I'm going to show you what Python automation actually means in 2025, what libraries do the heavy lifting so you don't have to reinvent anything, and how to build a working web scraper and file automation bot step by step. And at the end, I'll reveal the one mistake that kills almost every beginner's automation project before it even runs. It's not what you think, and it trips up even experienced developers. Let's get into it. So first, let's be precise about what a Python automation bot actually is, because bot gets thrown around loosely. A Python automation bot is a script that mimics human actions, clicking, typing, reading, downloading, moving files, but executes them faster, without breaks, and without errors caused by attention drift. It's software doing the boring human stuff so the actual human doesn't have to. There are 3 main categories. File and folder automation, renaming, moving, sorting, converting files based on rules. Web automation, logging into sites, clicking buttons, scraping data, filling forms. And scheduled task automation, triggering any of the above automatically at a set time without you touching a keyboard. Real example. A marketing analyst at a midsize company was manually downloading weekly performance reports from 5 different platforms: Google Ads, Meta, LinkedIn, their CRM, their email tool, then copying numbers into a master spreadsheet. 4 hours every Monday. Gone. A 120-line Python script now pulls all of it, formats it, and drops a complete spreadsheet on their desktop every Monday at 7 a.m. before they even open their laptop. 4 hours to 0. Every single week. That's the actual power here. And the tools to do this are free, open source, and well documented. Now let's talk about the libraries, because the right library makes this dramatically easier. You do not need to write automation logic from scratch. Other people have already done that work. For file automation, the 2 workhorses are OS and Shootil, which come built into Python, no installation needed. OS handles things like listing files in a folder, checking if a file exists, renaming files. Shootil handles copying, moving, and deleting. On top of those, the pathlib library gives you a cleaner, more readable way to navigate folder structures. For web automation, Selenium is the classic. It controls a real browser, Chrome, Firefox, and can click buttons, fill in forms, handle JavaScript-heavy pages, log in with credentials, everything a human can do in a browser. The newer alternative is Playwright, developed by Microsoft, which is faster, more reliable, and handles modern web apps better. If you're starting fresh in 2025, start with Playwright. For scraping data specifically, Beautiful Soup paired with the requests library is the cleaner choice when you don't need a full browser. Requests fetches the raw HTML of a page. Beautiful Soup parses it so you can pull out exactly the data you want. Together they're fast, lightweight, and incredibly effective for sites that don't rely heavily on JavaScript. For scheduled execution, on Windows you use Task Scheduler. On Mac or Linux, you use cron. Both let you point at a Python file and say run this every day at 8 a.m. No additional library needed. And for sending automated emails, which every automation pipeline eventually needs, Simplib is built into Python and handles Gmail, Outlook, anything with SMTP access. Here's where it gets interesting. Let me actually walk you through a real bot build so you can see exactly how these pieces connect. Let's build a file organization bot. Imagine your downloads folder. It's probably a mess of PDFs, images, zip files, spreadsheets, all sitting in one chaotic pile. This bot will sort everything into subfolders automatically. You start by importing OS, Shootil, and pathlib. You define your downloads folder path. Then you create a dictionary, a simple lookup table that maps file extensions to folder names. So .pdf maps to PDFs, .jpg and .png map to images, .xlsx and .csv map to spreadsheets, .zip maps to archives. Then you loop through every file and downloads. For each file, you check its extension against the dictionary, create the destination folder if it doesn't exist, and move the file. That's genuinely it. Around 30 lines of code. Run it once and your folder is sorted. Set it on a cron job and it sorts itself every night automatically. Quick note, if you're finding this useful, subscribing takes literally 2 seconds and it genuinely helps me keep making content like this. I'm not padding this out with theory, every video I make is built around stuff you can actually use. Now, back to building this bot. Let's level up to web automation. Here's a real Playwright example that's broadly applicable. Say you need to check a competitor's pricing page every morning and log the numbers. You install Playwright with a single pip command, pip install Playwright, then run Playwright install to download the browser binaries. Your script launches a headless Chromium browser, navigates to the target URL, waits for the page to fully load, then uses CSS selectors or text-based locators to grab the specific elements you want. You extract the text, write it to a CSV file with today's date as a column, and close the browser. Schedule it with cron, and every morning you wake up with an updated pricing log you never had to manually touch. The key thing to know about Playwright specifically is its auto-wait feature. Old Selenium scripts broke constantly because developers had to manually add wait times for pages to load. Playwright waits automatically until elements are actually ready before interacting with them. That alone eliminates the most common cause of flaky automation scripts. Did you know that Python's requests library can handle authentication tokens, cookies, and session management? That means for many sites, you don't even need a full browser. You can log in once, capture the session cookie, and make direct API-style calls that are 10 times faster than driving a real browser. Always try requests first. Only reach for Playwright when the site truly requires JavaScript rendering. Now let's talk error handling, because this is where most beginner bots die. A bot running unattended at 7 a.m. has no one watching it. If something breaks silently, you'll never know. You need the bot to tell you when it fails. The pattern is simple. Wrap your core logic in a try-except block. In the except block, don't just pass, use Python's built-in logging library to write errors to a log file with a timestamp. Even better, trigger an email to yourself using smplib so you get notified the moment something breaks. This takes maybe 15 extra lines of code but transforms your bot from a fragile script into something production grade. You also want to think about rate limiting when scraping the web. Adding a time.sleep of 1 to 3 seconds between requests isn't just polite, it prevents your IP from getting blocked. Most sites have bot detection that triggers when requests come in faster than any human could generate them. A simple sleep call keeps your bot flying under the radar. Now for the reveal I promised at the start, the one thing that kills most beginner automation projects. It's not bugs in the code. It's hard-coded paths and credentials. Here's what I mean. Beginners write a script that works perfectly on their machine. Then they try to run it somewhere else, a different computer, a scheduled task, a colleague's system, and it instantly crashes. Why? Because the script has something like C //users //yourname //downloads buried in it. The moment that specific folder doesn't exist, the whole thing breaks. Same with credentials, passwords and API keys written directly into the code get accidentally shared, uploaded to GitHub, or exposed. The fix is 2 things. First, use Python's pathlib to build paths dynamically based on the current user or current directory rather than hard-coding them. Second, store all credentials in a .env file, a simple text file that lives on your machine but never gets committed to version control, and read them using the python.env library. 1 pip install, 3 lines of code, and your bot is instantly portable and secure. This single change is what separates scripts that work once from bots that run reliably for years. Let's close with what you can actually do today. First, install Python if you haven't. Go to python.org, download 3.12, done. Second, pick one repetitive task you did this week. Just one. A folder sort, a data download, a form fill. Third, find the right library from what we covered: OS and Shootil for files, requests plus Beautiful Soup for basic scraping, Playwright for full browser automation. Fourth, write your first version in under 50 lines. Don't aim for perfect. Aim for working. Fifth, add a try except block and log errors to a file before you schedule it to run unattended. That's the full path. First working bot in a few hours, not weeks. If this video saved you time or gave you something concrete to act on, subscribe. I post every week, and the next video is a deep dive into using Python bots with AI APIs, specifically how to connect an automation script to GPT-4o so your bot can read emails, understand context, and write human quality responses automatically. That one's going to be genuinely useful. One question for you in the comments: what's the most repetitive digital task in your week? Drop it below. I read every single one, and the most common answers directly shape what I build tutorials around next.